All right, I'm back with another update on my drawing program, and I've added a little bit. I think I kind of wanted to get my thoughts out, which is why I wanted to do an update. Um, I'll go ahead and draw a shape so that I can show you stuff. So first of all, first thing that I added that's a little bit different from the last update is you can adjust grid sizing. So if I enable grid, you can see how the size is. And then if I move this up, you can see it's gotten larger. You can go really small. That's kind of nice. And then segment frequency, which is a little bit, I have a little bit of a cough. It's a little bit harder to show what it's doing. So let me do a demonstration where I move segment frequency really far down. If I do it like this, you can see lots of detail in what I'm doing. Like it catches all the shape. However, if I move segment frequency way up and I try to do that same thing, you'll notice it kind of waits a bit longer to put down the shape. So this is better for smoothing in large sweeping shapes like this, whereas this is better for detailed stuff. And it was an easy thing to add because I already have to calculate it. So I decided, okay, well, we'll put it on the menu and etc. So then the other thing I wanted to show is if there's something you want to get rid of, if you're in edit mode and you select like here's the main shape here and I hit X, it deletes it. Now you can see how many points were put into this shape because of the segment frequency. And if I go to this one, you see a lot fewer. So you can kind of understand what that's doing. And then another thing I have is hiding the cursor. So if you just want this but you don't want the cursor, and the main reason I'm doing that is because I have this zoom thing that's partially working. And if you notice, where the mouse is versus where the actual cursor is different. So it was kind of annoying. So I wanted this so that you can actually see what you're doing. The zoom, still, I'm working on it. I don't have the ability yet to grab and drag it around, so you can't like focus on a specific thing yet. That's kind of the thing I'm working on, but I wanted to get it so that the cursor and this thing are aligned so it's not relative to that so that it's calculated so that these two things will line up. So like when I put my cursor here, I want this little drawing cursor to also be in the same spot. And you can see as you get farther out, it gets farther away. So until you're at the center where it's aligned. That's just a scaling issue, but it requires a little bit of complexities because how JavaScript does scaling and transform on a canvas doesn't necessarily align with how you get the mouse position and where the mouse actually shows up on the thing. So because there's two separate things going on here. There's the canvas element and there's the actual document. And obviously I want both things to work just fine without having to cause difficulty for the user. So that's kind of where I'm at. There's not a lot more that's been added since then. And I may decide that the zoom and drag thing isn't as important, and I'll probably focus on some other stuff. The other thing I wanted to talk about, sort of getting my thoughts out, is how far to take this particular project. So I have this sort of ambition of replacing all Adobe products, or at least the ones that are not that currently don't have a good alternative, or that I have not found an alternative that's specific to my use case. And some of it's going to be just, I feel like doing this, therefore I'm going to do it. And I think some of my philosophy is mostly like just, okay, this is an experimental project where if I find that I can do everything with the JavaScript canvas that I need for this project, then I may use it for future projects that are SVG. I don't think that JavaScript canvas is good for rasterized pixels because JavaScript's kind of slow. I mean, they've been making it faster, but it's kind of slow, and it's not as easy to access all the stuff you would need to do that. But I do like the fact that JavaScript is pretty native when it comes to SVG, and web is as well, and making it cross-platformed. And I could put this up on a website somewhere and people could use it. I like those things. So that's where I'm at with it. This is basically experimental to see how well it works. And I'm confident that I can basically accomplish all the things I want to do with this in the web. And as I move on to the next one, which would probably be pixels, so more of a Photoshop adjacent or equivalent one. There's some specific things that I want to do in that sort of thing that aren't done in stuff like Krita or GIMP. And it mostly has to do with like, it's closer to what you would say is like writing a shader for, and like pixel manipulation, that sort of thing. And sort of procedures with brushes and whatnot that I haven't seen done. But also, I have to be kind of very specific in my scope, because if I try to do everything, that's too much for one person to do. So this is probably just going to be my hobby projects for the next several years of slowly building out these sort of things. Of course, I'll have plenty of other hobbies as well. I still have to do more stuff with assembly, but there's a lot to learn there. So anyways, that's just sort of the thoughts I have, and I think I'm going to end the video here.